Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Outer Space Ballroom in beautiful downtown Hamden, Connecticut. My name is David Bobo Lavorgna. In case of any astral disturbance, you may see oxygen masks coming down from the ceiling. Please put one on yourself before you try to help your neighbor. And there's ample free parking here at the Outer Space. Alan Jacobs was born in Brooklyn in 1942. When he was 13, he heard Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers singing, "Why Do Fools Fall in Love?" Jake already loved music, but this was something else. It was about the best thing he'd ever heard. Soon he was singing harmony with the Five Plaids and Claude and the Emeralds. In 1956, Jake got his first guitar for $13. About this time, he also heard Pete Seeger and the Weavers, and the folk music became part of his life. He met Andrea Bunky Skinner at the School of Visual Arts in 1962, and Bunky and Jake became soulmates for life. They started playing together and soon discovered the Greenwich Village music scene, playing coffee houses and passing the basket for money or whatever else people put in the basket. They loved the songs of Bob Dylan, and Bob Dylan, who did become a Bunky and Jake fan, has all their records. Fred Neil, Richie Havens, Tim Hardin, and they passed the basket alongside Stephen Stills and Peter Tork, Charlie Chin, Tom Gent, and many others. They recorded 2 albums for Mercury Records, Bunky and Jake, and the cult classic, LAMF. Jake went on to become part of the Magicians. They played at the Night Owl Cafe on West 3rd alongside Blues Magoos and the Strangers with Peter Galway and many other bands. They recorded 3 singles for Columbia Records, including An Invitation to Cry. They drove west to Las Vegas for a Columbia Records convention in a rented van by a friend of Alan Gordon, who was a pro wrestler called the Alabama Plowboy. They then drove to Los Angeles, played at the Whiskey A Go-Go, met the McCoys, and visited David Crosby, who was a friend of John Townley. After the band broke up in 1966, John built Apostolic Recording Studio, where a lot of great music was made, and Alan Gordon and Gary Bonner wrote their most famous song that was inspired by Jake, but I'll let him tell the rest of that story to you when he gets up here. They also wrote several other songs for the Turtles and Celebrate for Three Dog Night. In 1967, Jake joined the Fugs, playing at colleges where then Allen Ginsberg was the opening act for them. In San Francisco, Jake found himself and the other Fugs in a dressing room of Janis Joplin at the Fillmore, sharing a bottle of Southern Comfort with her. In 1968, Bunky and Jake started writing songs. They sang them for Art Polhemus and Bob Wilde, who previously produced The Magicians. They played their first gig at the Cafe A Go-Go, where they were sandwiched between the Steve Miller Blues Band with Boss Skaggs and John Fahey. A little later, they got Mikey Rosa on drums and Doug Rausch on bass and did some traveling. They found themselves in Florida opening a show for Blood, Sweat, and Tears, hanging out with Fred Neil, and opened for John Hammond at the Coconut Grove. Bunky and Jake became regulars at the bitter end and opened for Joni Mitchell, David Steinberg, Jerry Jeff Walker, and others. On their second album, besides Mike and Doug, they had help from friends Felix Pappalardi on bass, Buzzy Linhart on vibes, Charlie Chin on vocals, Mike Matthews on organ, and Perry Robinson on clarinet. They were featured in Rolling Stone in 1969 in an issue that had Sun Ra on the front cover and Jake on the back. That's when it was a newspaper. Sometime around 1970, Bunky and Jake went their separate ways, but they had an enduring relationship that lasted for 50 years. They would do an album for kids in 1993, Ooh Wee Little Children. It's my grandson's favorite album. And in 2011, they spent a lot of time hanging out together like the old days and working on Jake's A Look and a Promise CD. Unfortunately, Bunky died on March 20th, 2011. But as always, her music lives on through Jake. In the early 1970s, Jake put together Jake and the Family Jewels. You may have heard of them. They made 2 albums for Polydor. Jake and the Family Jewels still reunite semi-annually to perform classic and recent Jake music. Jake, the show will be on. I'll stop talking. Pop is going to stop talking in just a minute. but this is my only gig today. Jake thinks that there's been about 60 different Jules, which is pretty close. They played the bitter end with folks like Dion, Bill Withers, Chris Christopherson, and Bobby Newirth, and many others. They also played at Mike Porco's Gertie's Folk City and at the Fillmore East and the Bottom Line. Sometime during the early years, around 1971, Jake met NRBQ. And through the years, Jake and the Jules have appeared with the Q on many occasions. Jake has co-written songs with Terry Adams and Joey Spampanato, done guest vocals on their albums, and at many Q shows, Terry does bring Jake out to sing harmony with him and the boys. The Jules have played frequently at Toad's throughout the 80s and 90s, and in 2012, NRBQ played it at the Iridium in New York City, where Jake sang Umbrella, a song written by Terry and sung on Jake and Terry's Rhythm Spell album. On Jake's most recent album, A Lick and a Promise, Terry played piano, organ, and toy piano on Just a Stone's Throw, along with Tommy Artolino on drums and T-Bone Wolk on bass. Jake is currently writing songs for a new album with the working title of Pygmy's Progress. Is that true, Jake?
Yes.
Yes. So that'll be in stores very soon. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Jake Jacobs.
Hi, y'all. It's going to be hard to follow that, you know. I mean, that's like a whole lot of stuff. And I brought a clock with me, but I left it upstairs just so I could think about how the time. Okay. Now, let's see if we can. Hi, everybody. Desire for a slice of our beats, so we went for the best down on Carmine Street. It was then that I realized we was just 30 feet from the famous house of oldies, singing no CDs, no MP3s, when you're standing in the house of oldies. Just 45s and 33s, standing in the house of oldies. Doo-doo, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, boop-boop-boop, doo-doo, whoa, whoa. Now my man Bob, he runs the joint. If it ain't vinyl or wax, well, Jake, what's the point? But if you need you some oldies to brighten your day, just ask Bob, and here's what he'll say. There's no CDs, no MP3s, when you're standing in the house of oldies. Just 45s and 33s, standing in the house of oldies. And there's so much love in this little store. You could leave me here forevermore. No CDs, no MP3s, when you're standing in the house of oldies. No 45, 78s or 33s, standing in the house of oldies. Ooh, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, boop, boop, boop. Ooh, whoa, whoa. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Here's a song about an Irish girl. There she goes, that Irish girl. I saw her once and in love I fell. Somewhere down on Sullivan Street, What a lovely secret you are, Annabelle. Ooh, ooh. I met her at the laundromat, but did not speak, and so do tell. With every turn of a washing machine, my knees got weak, pray Annabelle. From across the street, I saw you walk your dog and buy French bread. I walked around that village square and found myself in her stairwell, but I could not bring myself to ring, so fare thee well, oh Annabelle. Fare thee well, oh Annabelle. Doodle-doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo, doodle-doo-doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Ooh, ooh, there she goes, that Irish girl. I saw her once and in love I fell. Somewhere down on Sullivan Street, what a lovely secret you are, Annabelle. What a lovely secret you are, Annabelle. Ooh, ooh, Annabelle. You know, way back in 1965, 66, my band, The Magicians, was playing at the Night Owl Cafe. And there I was in 1966, standing on the street corner of 3rd Street in McDougal. And it was a Saturday night, and the joint was jumping. And I wrote this song. Now, Annabelle was a lovely young woman. Frightful, delightful Dolores, however, is another story. Can you hear my guitar okay? You can always tell Dolores from the rest of the girls. A ring on every finger and a long string of pearls. A great big old tiger on a long steel chain. You think that chick is crazy, well, she's really insane. That's Dolores, frightful, delightful Dolores. Yes, 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 that's Dolores. No, 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 take my advice. Don't shoot no dice with Dolores. Now she's 6'11", weighing 237. Comes running down that block, yelling 7, come 11. She'll get you in the game. You'll soon forget your name. When you try to figure it out, you'll be standing in the rain with Dolores. Frightful, delightful Dolores. That's Dolores. No, 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 take my advice. Don't shoot no dice with Dolores. Tell Dolores from the rest of the girls. A ring on every finger and a long string of pearls. A great big old tiger on a long steel chain. You think that chick is crazy, she's really insane. Yes, Dolores, delightful, delightful Dolores. Thank you very much. Now, like Bobo said, when I was I'll tell you the true story. When I was 13 years old, I used to get headaches every Tuesday. School started on Monday. By Tuesday, I was a wreck. Headaches and stuff, you know. Mr. Jacob, stop looking out the window. Yeah. So on Tuesday night, my folks would say, Alan, why don't you go into our bedroom, lay down, listen to the radio? So that's what I did. I hope I get through this next one. And that's what I heard Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers. And hey, listen, there was nothing wrong with Patti Page and Dean Martin, and you know, I loved them all, you know, and the big band here and all that. But Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers singing Why Do Fools Fall in Love, well, that just about changed my whole head around, and I figured, I think I'm gonna do music. I think I like music. So singing in the street corner with the boys was just the most fun, and we did it right through junior high school. That's what got me through, was singing, you know. So many years later, I wrote this little song called For No One But the Moon. I come from South 3rd Avenue, number 243, right across the street from the playground. You could find my boys and me, and every night about 8 o'clock, it never came too soon, we'd sing that sweet old harmony for no one but the moon, no one but the moon. Ooh. Sing it again, Jay. Ooh. We were just a bunch of singing fools trying to stay in tune, doing what we love so much for no one but the moon. And some of these boys are dead and gone. It happened way too soon. But the rest of us just hanging on for no one but the moon. No one but the moon. Ooh. We sang Hey Senorita, we sang Oh Little Girl of Mine, we sang Hush-a-bye and Desiree, little star and you're so fine. Ooh, ooh. Hey moon, hey moon, hey moon, hey moon. We chime in one by one, that's how we begin. We sang up to the stars, we sang from deep within. We sang Hey Senorita, we sang Oh Little Girl of Mine, we sang Hush-a-bye and Desiree, little star and you're so fine. I come from South 3rd Avenue, number 243, right across the street from the playground. You could find my boys and me, and every night about 8 o'clock, it never came too soon, we'd sing that sweet old harmony for no one but the moon. No one but the moon. Thank you very much. Gee, it's so nice tonight seeing all these old friends and people that I knew from New Haven and musicians and people. It's just really sweet. I just want to tell you. So, let's see what else we got here. She don't love me, yes I know, but even though I love her so, ooh-wee, just a little too much. The sun is up, but I don't feel good. I don't know just how I could. Ooh-wee, I had a little too much. Now my friends talk about moderation, but that just gives me aggravation. Ooh, I put some white stuff up my nose, and now I'm looking for my clothes. Ooh, I had a little too much. I bought you a parakeet, but this affair is just a one-way street. Ooh, I had a little too much. I'm mixing drinks like Jackson Pollock. Now I'm paying for my frolic. Ooh. Now I thought I could be your man, but your heart closed up like a Chinese fan. Ooh-wee, I had a little too much. Goddess of wine, goddess of gin, laughing at this bag I'm in. Ooh-wee, I had a little too much. When I played with the Fugs in 1967, we were going to Canada to play up near Lake Louise. I'll tell you a quick story here. The Fugs were made up of 3 poets. One of them was Thule Kupferberg. And Thule mainly walked around the stage with what he called his erectorines. They were bottle caps nailed onto a mop stick, the mop handle, okay? So he would go like this, you know. So there we are trying to get into Canada, and Thule kept his erectorines in a gun bag. So the 3 security guys at the thing, and here we are looking at the Fugs in 1967, beards, and these 3 guards said, "Sir, do you have a gun in that bag?" Thule said, "No, those are my erectorines," and case closed. So we got up to Lake Louise, and we were playing at this club, and I met a lovely French-Canadian woman whose name was Louise. So when I got home, I decided to write a song about Louise the lake and Louise the woman. If I can find the words, I'll be all right. Oh, Louise, Lake Louise, you're all wet under me. All the strange octopi make a nest for my knees. So I'll come home to you on a cool summer breeze. Surrender your splendor, my own Lake Louise. Oh, dear friend, Can it be true that this place got a hold on you? And that young, tender girl with her eyes sparkling blue, and that wonderful touch when you're up to your knees. Surrender your splendor, my own Lake Louise. Waterfalls, the big moose calls his baby sweet Lorraine. He'll serenade his lady fair, awaiting her return. Please don't freeze, Lake Louise, I won't follow you down, but I'll wait for the spring, then I'll leave this here town, and I'll come home to you on a cool summer breeze. Surrender your splendor, my own Lake Louise. You know, way back in the 65, 66, there was an all-girls rock and roll band, and they were called the UFOs. And Lisa Kindred was the lead singer, and I don't know the drummer and the bass player's name was Annie Sternberg. Well, I loved Annie Sternberg way back when. And I'm writing a song about the Night Owl Cafe, and Joe Mara, the owner, I went to talk to him, and he says, "Jake, do you know that the UFOs played the Night Owl?" I said, "No." I said, "Whatever happened to Annie Sternberg?" He said, "Oh, she passed away about 8 years ago." Well, my heart went down, and I got home and just started crying. And then, of course, what all songwriters do, you write a song. So. I loved you, Annie Sternberg, but you never knew I cared. I loved you from a distance, but never ever dared to tell you of my feelings. I just did not know how. I loved you, Annie Sternberg, as I love you even now. Ooh, your hair was dark and beautiful. Your voice was deep and low. You played your bass in an all-girl band. 'Twas called the UFOs. Now they tell me that you're gone from here, but they did not tell me how. I loved you, Annie Sternberg, as I love you even now. Ooh. All right, I'm going to try a song that I've never played before. In fact, there was another one that I did that I never played before either, and it sounded like it. So this is a song called, I don't know if I'm going to get away with this, but there's this girl, fine as wine. Oh, by the way, this is my Southern rock tune. There's this girl, fine as wine. She goes with Sonny, I wish that she was mine. I'd pick her up, we'd make the scene. I know this love affair is only just a dream. Charlene, Charlene, you know what I mean, Charlene. Sonny's tough, don't take no jive. I better cool it if I want to stay alive. But I don't care that he's so mean. I take a shot to be with my Charlene, Charlene. Charlene, you know what I mean, Charlene. I ain't stupid, I'm just a little guy. If I mess with Sonny, he's gonna punch me in my eye. So I declares I love Charlene. I know I'll be with her if only in my dreams. Charlene, Charlene, you know what I mean, Charlene. Charlene. Here's a song that Terry likes. When I move into my penthouse, everything will be alright. From my perch, I'll dig the city all through the night. Sometimes eyes can get so gritty. Sometimes things work out alright. From my penthouse to the city, all through the night. All my friends are rushing round, nothing left at all to do. Just some joker waving madly, I'll be seeing you. Think I'll have a dry martini, maybe 2 and maybe 4. In about 1/2 an hour, I'll be on the floor. All my friends have come and gone, nothing left at all to do. Just some joker waving madly, I'll be seeing you. When I move into that penthouse, everything will be alright. From my perch, I'll dig the city all through the night. Bum, 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 bum. Thank you very much. Hey, I want to thank Bobo for setting this whole thing up and getting me and Randy together. I haven't seen Randy in a long time, and we used to play together back in Block Island. I remember. Remember Randy? So, let's see. I remember about 20 years ago, 30 years ago maybe, if you were walking along 8th Street and you crossed from the west side to the east side over 3rd Avenue, I noticed that a lot of the people on the East Village had lots of tattoos and lots of rings, you know what I mean? Rings everywhere. We didn't have that on the west side, you know what I mean? So anyway, I noticed that there's just a lot more of decorative skin stuff, you know? And when I was walking back, there came walking towards me a very lovely woman I remember she had blonde pigtails, And she had more rings than on her face and body than I had ever seen in my life. So, of course, I went home and wrote a song. She's got rings on her fingers, rings on her toes, a ring through her eyebrow, there's a ring through her nose, a ring through her navel, one down below, rings in places I don't know. Maybe I can marry her, do-do-wee-oo. It makes my poor heart sing, do-wee-oo. And maybe I'll uncover all the rings, rings, rings. Do-do-do-do-do-do, rings, rings, rings. She's got rings come from Bali, rings from Peru, and rings from Saks Fifth Avenue. There's people in the East, do-do-wee-oo. People in the West, do-wee-oo. Vive la différence, 'cause that's what I like best. She's gothic and mysterious, comes from far away. I think she comes from Brooklyn, Coney Island, Sheepshead Bay. Hey, hey. She's got rings around her ankles, jangle when she walks, and rings made of turquoise, dangle when she talks. A ring set with ruby sparkles in the light. A ring inlaid with jade will protect her from the night. Now if I was a butterfly, do-do-wee-oo, then I'd have some wings, do-wee-oo. I'd sit down upon her shoulders and her rings, rings, rings. And maybe I'll uncover all her rings, 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 underneath the cover of her rings, rings, rings. Do you do rings, rings, rings. I shake my head and wonder why I find myself in one big mess. I dug a hole, now I can't get out, 'cause this one's bigger than all the rest. But here she comes, the warrior queen. She's my hero, can't you see? I love her till the day I die, 'cause the girl's so good to me. And just when everything is dark, the world's so cruel and the rain comes down, she's standing right in front of me, with 2 feet planted on the ground. She's my hero, can't you see? 'Cause that's her personality. And I'd do anything for her, 'cause the girl's so good to me. The girl's so good to me. Gives me loving, that's for sure. The girl's so good to me. And I'll be hers forevermore. Standing there, she strikes a pose, the 7th wonder of the world. Statuesque and Rubenesque, with arms akimbo, cape unfurled. And though she's just a fantasy, I'll be hers eternally. And I'd do anything for her, 'cause the girl's so good to me. The girl's so good to me. The girl's so good to me. Zena. I wish that I could be sailing ships upon the sea, but every part of me is locked inside the city. My friends say I must leave this town before I bust. Ain't got the do-re-mi, so I'm locked inside the city. You can send me tea and something that is handmade. Red kimonos, family jewels, and Buddhas made of jade. I dream an awful lot about watching dolphins from my yacht. But see, all I've got is locked inside the city. You can send me tea and something that is handmade. Red kimonos, family jewels, and Buddhas made of jade. I wish that I could be sailing ships upon the sea, but every part of me is locked inside the city, locked inside the city. Thank you. It's gonna be legal, that's what I hear. Maybe tomorrow or maybe next year. No need to worry, no need to fear. It's gonna be legal, that's what I hear. Gonna be legal, now ain't that a kick? I'll roll me a J on the way to the frick. Grooving on statues, high as a kite. It's gonna be legal, that's right. My friend Bunky is no longer with us, but her spirit is always with me. I think about her a lot. So just in her honor, I'm going to do a little bit of a Reverend Gary Davis tune, just about a minute and a half, maybe a minute, 40 seconds. Hallelujah, hallelujah, I belong to the band. Hallelujah, 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 I belong to the band. Hallelujah. When I get to heaven, gonna sit right down. There goes Bunky with the starry crown. I belong to the band. Hallelujah, 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 I belong to the band. Hallelujah. Get to heaven, gonna sit right down. Say, when I get to heaven, gonna sit right down. There goes Bunky with the starry crown. I belong to the band. Hallelujah, 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 I belong to the band. Hallelujah. Forgot the second verse. I'm just a lucky boy. I ain't been hit by no car so far. So I knock on wood like I think I should and thank my lucky star. to the whooping cough. I did not know, but she had to go. Good times, sad times, bad times, joy. I'm still a lucky boy. And the days are sweet, I heard someone say, but you better not give your days away. I'm just a lucky boy. I ain't been hit by no car so far. Okay, it's the end of that one. Angel on the corner, rainbow in your eyes, bluebird on your shoulder, I know you're in disguise. Do, 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 do. All right, you know what we're gonna do? I want you all to help me with this song, okay? The chorus goes, do, 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 do. Now who can sing that with me? Do, 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 do. Again. Do, 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 do. Now, if somebody, maybe the girls or somebody got a high voice, could do, 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 do. Who's got that? Who's got that? Do. Okay, together with the other now, okay? 2, 3, 4. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Okay, when that part comes in, I'll go like this, okay? When it's over, I'll go like that. And we're going to retard the ending, whatever that means. Angel on the corner. Oh, yeah, when I shake my head, that means don't sing. When I go like this, it means sing. Angel on the corner, rainbow in your eyes, bluebird on your shoulder, I know you're in disguise. Do, 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 do it again. Do, 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 do. The sidewalk must be grateful each minute that you stand. I see you and I want you, so why don't you give me your hand? Do, 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 do. But I can't see no mystery, so why don't you give your love to me? Do, 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 do. Corner, rainbow in your eyes, bluebird on your shoulder, I know you're in disguise. Do, 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 do. Thank you, everyone. Well, I felt so sick, you know, I felt so bad. I wrote a note to the boxing champ. Dear Ali, what is wrong with me? I used to have some spunk, but it done got sunk. Stay in shape, keep your head on straight. You gotta watch your weight. Get your rest and feel your best. It'll be okay. Ooh. Do, 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 do. Ooh. know my girl Kate thinks she's too plump. She got her a rope and she started to jump. She soars like a bird, believe what I say. She can play one-on-one with the great Dr. J. Stay in shape, keep your head on straight. You gotta watch that weight. Get your rest and feel your best, and it'll be okay. It's gonna be okay in every way. It's a brand new day for you. Do, 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 do. I was hanging out where the horses run when a man said, son, have you heard the news? Seattle Slew got the Triple Crown, but not long ago he was really down. Stay in shape, keep your head on straight, you gotta watch your weight. Get your rest and feel your best, and it'll be okay. Hey, listen, thank you very much for coming tonight. I'm going to grab a drink, listen to Randy. It's a lovely evening. Thank you all for coming, really. Thank you.